Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Idomeneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business, and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 2, Episode 30. So, death by meeting. You know, it's more than just a book. It's an actual thing. But it turns out meetings actually do hold a valuable place in your communications playbook. So, here's how you can find the right balance. You know what? Leaders have to communicate with their teams. There's really no way around it, particularly if some or all of your team is remote. But even when everyone's on site, regular communication goes a long way to make sure everyone stays on the same page and that your projects move forward. There are basically three types of meetings that I personally can't do without: the water cooler, a weekly tactical, and one-on-ones. Now, our water cooler is a daily 10 to 15 minute check-in, and it's just for my direct reports. Now, different companies call this by different names. They might call it a daily huddle or a team huddle or a standing meeting. Either way, it's a chance for each senior manager to capture their priorities for the day, ask questions of one another, and get company updates. The daily cadence helps make sure that no outstanding item gets pushed off too far and open questions get answered. It's also a good time for team members to ask for help or resources from the rest of the group. Now, it's critical to keep this meeting short, and I suggest that the CEO go last. You know how we can be. Oh, and each manager does a daily check-in with their teams as well. Now, the weekly tactical is a longer meeting. We try to keep it to an hour or less, where we go over metrics, project updates, the education corner. After all, we're an HR company, so we have to deal with changes in employment law all the time, product and delivery updates and improvements, and we brainstorm about the thorny situations we're working on with clients. Not surprisingly, some of our best HR stories come from the hot topics sections of our meetings. I swear one day I'm going to write another book. Now, the tactical meeting is for department heads, but once a month, the whole team is invited. By the way, the education corner of the all hands tactical, well, that's a great opportunity for junior members of the team to sharpen their presentation chops. Now, our tactical meetings used to be a lot longer, sometimes even 2.5 hours. But once we started tracking metrics and reporting them on dashboards, it cut down significantly on a lot of the random discussion about standard activities. So I strongly suggest you use every available tool to track stats and visually display them, so you can easily see the progression from one period to the next. Also, we use a formal agenda, and my executive assistant takes notes, and they're distributed after the meeting. I finally realized that a lack of organization will guarantee that a meeting goes on way too long. So be organized. And last, but certainly not least, are my one-on-ones. I meet with each of my direct reports individually for approximately 45 minutes every other week. This is our private time to talk about clients, wins, roadblocks, and just have some private discussion time together. It helps keep us connected. So you're probably saying, how much time does all these meetings take? Well, not nearly as much as you think. I have a daily 10-minute water cooler, and I block out Thursdays as my team meeting day. We actually call it Idomeneo Day. This is the day for the weekly tacticals and my one-on-ones. So even on Thursdays, my heaviest meeting load is 2:45 one-on-ones and the 1-hour tactical or all-hands meeting. And it's one day a week I know that I'm going to focus internally on the team instead of all the other external obligations on my plate. You don't have to use this blueprint, but you do need to plan regular, consistent, structured opportunities to stay connected to your team on an individual as well as a team basis, because there's nothing worse than an out-of-touch leader. If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.